If you've ever dropped mini or painted just a bit too hard, chances are you've lost a limb. Now I'm going to teach you how to put them back on. Step number 1 is going to be to take our drill bit and drill a hole about 2 to 3 millimeters deep into the model where you've lost the limb. Now you want to make sure that you don't go too deep because you will puncture the other side. Make sure that you are going smooth and even. In this case, I have 2 minis that have issues. If you've ever painted a demonite, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Gotten rid of the excess bits on the auger before going in and drilling another hole into the limb that has actually fallen off. This could also be for a gun or another piece of mini material that's come off. It doesn't have to be just an arm, but this is the most typical that I've seen happen. Now I'm going in on my other arm here. Same thing goes in the limbs. You want to go about 2 to 3 millimeters deep. And then next step, you're going to take a bit of wire. If you don't have any thin wire, you can use a paper clip cut down to size. Now I've cut it pretty long on this one to just make sure that you can see what I'm doing. So first step, make sure that it fits in the hole. Then you're going to take a little bit of glue, your simple basic modeling glue, the same kind you'd use to put your mini together, and you're going to glue the end of the piece of metal into that hole. I'm going to do the same thing on my other mini here. For these more delicate limbs, I'm using typical contact glue for plastics to make sure that it molds together at the edges, but if you have a beefier piece, you might want to use super glue so that the metal molds to the plastic. Now you're going to take that piece and you're going to snip it off closer to the base. Now you have to make sure that you're getting close enough that there's enough left to fit into the other piece, but also enough left that it's not too deep and you get a gap. Now I've cut this one a little bit long to show you what it looks like when there's a bit of a gap. Now you're going to put a little bit of glue on the end and make sure that they fit together so that the piece of plastic is still touching one another in the center. You don't want just metal being in a gap or filling that out. Even though you could use a gap filler to fill that, you want to make sure that you're having plastic on plastic to get the glue working the way that it's properly meant to. I'm going to go ahead and do my other one here. I'm going to cut it properly, and you can see just how short I'm actually going to cut it. Now you can see I'm clipping the metal quite close to the base of the mini because I've only drilled just a few millimeters in, so I don't need much left over. And just like when you put your mini together, make sure that you do press and hold for a bit to get the glue working properly, melding that plastic together, just like when you're putting your mini together. And voila! Make sure to subscribe, like, and follow.